Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Vintage Story. So, since the last episode, it hasn't been a whole lot of time, but something that I have done is I've went through and I've kind of consolidated our resin so far. You know, it's July 1st, and currently we are sitting on 17 resin, which is not too bad. Let me go ahead and grab this. And I would like to get the iron blooms going, but for right now, since I do want to start working on like the warehouse and down in the village a bit, I think I'm just going to get copper going, heating up. Because I would like to make some copper plates, just so that we can make some more lanterns. I'd like to get these going, at least while we've got some wind going. And while we're doing that, let me go grab some wood. There we go. Get that going. Making our first copper plate. But I'd like to go ahead and set some of the groundwork in place for our next bit of hammers. Okay, so for the toggles, it's going to be boards, fat. Let me go ahead and get a few more axles. Okay, so let's go ahead and get 3 wooden toggles. And we'll just go ahead and put these in right here. That's going to be our additional 4 hammers laid out. And then we're going to need 2 more hammer bases. And unfortunately, that is just about all my resin at the moment. So we made a little bit of a dent in it, but we still got a ways to go. Now on the plus side, while that's running, we do actually have our windmill rotors already made up for this. So we can go ahead and see about maybe figuring out where we're going to put the windmill rotors. I'll come back here in a second. Let me go ahead. We'll figure out maybe placement a little bit here. So we'll want one to plug in right here, basically. I figure this is a good activity. 2 birds with 1 stone while I'm getting some lanterns, basically just to light up the village a bit. Because that is something, you know, I kind of want to work on that. And I'm about to have to do just a big bunch of sorting down in the village. Because we're going to be working on the warehouse a bit today. And part of getting the warehouse sorted out is getting the items sorted out. Which means we're going to be switching over a lot of that to crates at this point. Okay, so let's see kind of where we're at the moment. Okay, actually, where we're at's pretty good. Of course, I didn't bring any stones with me, so GG me. Or any dirt with me. I'm actually going to bring it 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 more, I think. So what about here? Yeah. I like this, and then we'll run it out, and that way it's catching that wind coming from this direction, theoretically, you know, catching that wind. We'll just go ahead, attach that there, and I've got to run some dirt. Bring some dirt up with me, but yeah, this one's it's gonna cost a lot to run it back, but at least it's just fat. I mean, fat's something we can go out and we can like pretty much infinitely farm. I'm gonna need basically 1, 2, 3, 4 angled gears to run it all, and then other than that, it's just a bunch of axles. So I just threw the charcoal in, then it's just like wind stops. It's like cool. While it's hot, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this plate. So we've got 6 plates. That's going to give us 6 lanterns. That's not bad. I'll leave this in here just in case it picks back up. Alright, so I'm going to head down to the village. I'm actually going to be working on just some sorting. I might do a little chiseling, but mostly I'm going to be doing some sorting because we have a huge mess in our hands inside the warehouse. Now, I'm not for sure if I want to use my parchment down here because I only have 20 parchment. So I don't know if I want to use it down in the warehouse or not, or if I want to save it for up there. But we'll see. I'll give it some thought. Probably going to save it though, but we'll see. I may change my mind. But at this point, I've got just basically, actually, let me take this over to here. I've basically got just a big, monstrous mess. I need to switch out my bags too. But I'm going to get to basically kind of sorting out the warehouse a bit. And if I get to feeling skippy, I might start moving some stones. I've got stones that need to come down from the mountain down to here, and then I've got stones that need to go from down here up to the mountain. I can put it off till later. It's not really a big rush, but I might start doing that too. I don't know. But anyways, I'll be back. Oh, good. Anyways, I'll be back in a bit. Okay, it's been a bit. It's currently July 4th at the moment, and I've just been kind of working in here. I'm still got a lot to do. Still got a ton to do. But I've been just kind of organizing things, so you can see I'm kind of starting to change over to crates. I've still got a few chests in places. I just think crates look better. I know chests are more convenient, but crates just look so much better, I think. At least for most things. And then I've got signs on the side, so we can easily identify what everything is, and everything just kind of sorted away. And then I also use the copper plates that we made. I need to make more, of course, but I just got a bit of lighting in here so that everything is a lot easier to see, and I don't have to pack my lantern around just to move around within the warehouse, which is good. And then upstairs we have kind of like wood storage up here. These are going to be our dump chests now, so they'll be moved to this location. We got clay. I don't have anything in those up there, but you can see I've got like poultices and sticks and just different things down through here as well. But of course I'm still sorting, and I got to get a lot of this stuff out of the way, so I may have to take a few trips up to the mountain, possibly. But it's July 4th. It's probably gonna take a little while because I'm kind of also organizing, because we had just a lot of stuff from last episode, and I'm just kind of gotta get all this sorted and gone through at this point. Anyways, I just wanted to pop you guys in, let you know what was going on, because I know a bit of time will inevitably pass as I'm sorting and organizing and doing all of this. So, okay, it's actually the night of the same day, but I was coming through here because I was starting to get things organized back in here a little bit, so I never got all this stuff out of here whenever I was moving stuff up to the forge, I guess. I don't think there's a whole lot. It's mainly like galena and stuff. But I did set up over here. This is like stuff that needs to go up to the keep area. So mostly ores and things like that. But I can remove these now, because we're not really going to store ores in here. We're kind of switching everything over because this was kind of like our house and our everything storage for a bit. And it's kind of losing that, and it's just becoming more of like overstock storage, not like no ores are going to be stored here, and so on. So I'm trying to kind of cut a lot of that out. But I did get our trees planted, so just a heads up there. I've got our red apples down here. I need to flip this. And also, I got our pears planted right up here. So hopefully those will do well. Now let's head over. This is really getting with it right now. Let's throw our potash in so we can get that grinding up. And if we go down and we take a look, we should have, yeah, all this lime. This is going to get sent up to the keep, so I'm going to grab that out. And also, while I'm at it, I could go ahead and get all this salt grinded up. So we're just going to take all of our halite and throw it in here. We can go mine more, but I mean, that's going to give us a bit of salt, because that's going to be 2 salt for each, so it's going to be over 4 stacks of salt. Okay, and our potash is done, so let's go ahead and grab that. And you can see it's starting to process salt at the moment. And that way we'll have some salt for our use. I would like to start running the road to the north, which will be kind of our walnut tree farm, and whatever other tree. I would like to start running that, but I'd like to get the warehouse done first. I'd like to stay kind of focused, get the warehouse sorted, and then move on to that, I think. And let's go ahead and take our potash. And this is going to bump the fertility. Like, if we take a look at Terra Preta, fertility when tilled is 80%, but our K fertility, it's going to bump that up by 15%. And it's going to, since it's a slow release fertilizer, it's going to boost the K nutrients in this over time as well. But we're mainly wanting like the long-term effect, which is the permanent increase to the fertility, which means we're gonna, this field will end up being a 95% flax, or 95% K fertility, and we have enough to do this entire field. I'm gonna try to make sure we've got enough potash to do entire fields. It just makes it a little bit easier when it comes to organizing out a little bit. So there we go. And I think here in the next day or so, once that salt finishes up, or just whenever I get around there and the wind's blowing, I'm probably going to go ahead and get a bunch of flour being made as well. At this point, we're at a pretty good spot as far as the interior, except for this end. So I'm going to be focusing a bit of time on this end and on the exterior. I do believe, and I'm probably going to put down some matting, like some rush matting, you know, something like that in places, just to kind of break up the floor just a little bit, just to make the floor look, kind of break it up and look a little bit better. But I'm also probably going to take our cattails out there and get those planted as well. I was wanting to get at least like 2 or 3 stacks planted this year, and that's actually a little over a stack, so that's pretty good. But anyways, I'll be back once I get a little bit more done on this. Okay, it's been a little bit of time. It's actually been a bit of time. It's July 9th now. I'm just losing the month. My baby ram is yet again another male. So I'm still stuck with our Generation 1 female. And I keep getting Generation 2 male. So it might take a little bit. I also moved all of our leatherworking stuff up out of the basement. Just temporary spot, just to get it out of my way for now. But I have been doing a bit of work. First up, before we take a look at the warehouse, I'm kind of turning my head. Let's not look at that. But let's pop over. It's actually a very foggy morning today. But if we pop over, I harvested down our kapok, right? We're good on saplings now. Like, for once, I can say we actually don't have to worry about saplings. Because if we take a look, we have 21 kapok seeds as extra, and I've actually ran it all the way down at this point. We have a literal ton of kapok wood, oak wood, and I've actually been using a bit of the oak and a bit of the kapok as well. Now, if we pop around, let's go ahead. I did run this path over a little bit to the back, and also finished up the foundations. So the short cobble that spans around this, I went ahead and finished up that. You can see I have chiseled up the back side of the chimney here a bit. Maybe not totally done. I don't know if I'm going to put a like a chimney top on it like that one, but probably not, since I have chiseled it down. But I was supposed to be working on the warehouse, and I got a little bit sidetracked. Now I'm debating if I want to move it, but I've actually been working on a whale. I've got to put a top on it, and I'm probably going to do a foundation, and I got to do a little bit more detail stuff. I'm not sure if I'm going to end up rounding this out or not. Like this. I don't know, I might, actually. Yeah, I actually might. In fact, give me just a second here. See, I can't get away from the chisel. At first, whenever I was building it, I was thinking, well, I might go with the blue clay shingles. You know, we've actually got a bunch of the shingles made up. It's kind of like a, whenever we need them, we've got them kind of thing. So I could easily throw a blue clay shingle roof on this. And I haven't tested it with the blue clay shingles, but I did test the placement with some leftover thatch roof. And it would actually work out okay. The wheel would actually sit almost right up against it. That would be okay. I think that would be okay, because it would still theoretically be able to turn. And I'd put slight gravel down here, but like I said, I might end up moving this. I don't know. I haven't decided just yet, but I am planning on doing a little foundation around it maybe. But I may end up moving it, or I might leave it. Actually, I'll probably leave it. I'll probably end up having a few of these whales around the town. But the reason I got sidetracked is because I was moving stuff out of the basement. We had that temporary water source, and I was like, yeah, I should probably do a proper water source. And then, yeah, a couple days later, I have this. If we head inside, this is where my month of July has went. Let's go down. You can see everything's kind of, I've made up some tool racks and things, and got together some stuff that needs to go up to the keep. Oh wow, I have so much quartz. I went up there and I got quartz, and I didn't realize I had that much quartz here. But if we head down, a lot of this stuff's got to be redone. I got to work on that, and that's our rot chest now. But I've removed all of our storage vessels at this point, and you can see spider webs. I actually used all the spider webs we got in the last couple episodes. The juicing area, it's pretty bland right now. We're probably gonna have shelves up above that, but for right now, pretty bland. Same in here. I need to bring the shelves on around, but at the moment, pretty bland. And then if we head into here, this is where I actually spent a bit of time kind of changing things up. And I did make 4 more storage vessels. And like this one here is onions. We got turnips. We have parsnips. That's like our 3 major foods that we eat a lot of. And then over here we have flax grain. And this is kind of like other stuff, like what I'm eating right now and my cabbage and stuff. We have rye. And we have spelt. Now if we head on upstairs, spend a bit of time up here. You can see I made a bunch more rush matting down through here, just to kind of break up the floor a bit in places. And I also did make 4 more copper lanterns, 2 of which I used inside of here, just to get the lighting kind of done. But we'll use the other ones outside, I think. But I finished kind of organizing things out and going with the crates. Like I said, chests are a lot easier to use and kind of more convenient. But crates just look so much better, I think. So I'm trying to go primarily with crates in a lot of places. This is actually meant to be like lupine storage and another flower, but I only have 3 colors of lupine at the moment. And then back in here, we have all of this stuff and all this stuff. But I tried to bring everything to life a little bit with some rush matting and some spider webs and whatnot. We're going to be hopefully getting rid of these windows here momentarily. My stick windows. If we head on up, no, I don't think much has changed up here. I did throw a spider web up there, but that's about it. And this is kind of all closed up. This up here is just more storage for things like salt and powdered borax, saltpeter, bean-aids, bamboo stakes, which we got from I have 3 from a vessel. But I spent a bit of time on this end because it was, you know, before we had grass on the floor and everything where I was using it as a chisel workspace. I ended up putting rough wooden doors. These are just kind of decorative. I don't have anything in any of these, but there's just chests back there. So they kind of make like these little like, not really pantries, but like almost like a sort of like wall screen that runs down there. And it adds a lot of like, I don't know, variety to the walls and stuff. And we have seeds back in here. We do have 14 walnut seeds, which is good. Some of our aged wood stuff here, so we could sit down at our table and have our breakfast or whatever. Added some shelves and things, and probably put knives on these tool racks over time. Storage vessel up here with nothing in it. And I did chisel out our clay oven, combination of slate cobble and chert cobble for that. And that way I could fill in kind of the top section there where you could kind of see through it and just kind of, I don't know, do something with that so it's not just sitting in the wall. Also, if you want to see the materials for this, I used chalk for the rope, and for the bucket I used walnut, shell sand, chalk rock, and slate cobble. Because slate cobble is the little bits that go around here, and the slate is the handle here. So I think it turned out alright. And then of course we can just put water in this square, and we'll have water, like an infinite water source out here. So it'll be quite convenient. Now what I would like to do, let's go ahead and we're going to get ourselves a few bloomeries. I made another batch of fire bricks. I need to make a bunch of batches, but I don't know. I pick up the chisel and it's just like, that's it. Like, I picked it up and then like a few days later I'm like, oh yeah, I need to be doing other stuff. But what I'm going to do right now is we are going to make our first bits of glass. So 24 quartz chunks, 6 charcoal per run, and each of these runs are going to make 12 glass. So let's go ahead and fire these up, because I think it's time at this point. I think we're wealthy enough to spend the charcoal, spend the fire bricks, and spend the time. Time is more of the issue. But we're going to get our first bits of proper glass going. Now, in addition, I did actually milk the eel once. I was really wanting to get into cheese, but I really want Generation 3 Plus ewes before I start that, and I'm not having any luck with that at the moment. Let me go ahead and get our crucible, and I want to get, I've actually got some more lead. 1 second. 3. Yeah, we'll start with 3. It might be possible 2. I don't know. Lead cooks up pretty quickly. Let's go ahead now, and we need to start plotting out basically where the road is going to run. Because, of course, I want to set up a walnut tree farm, and I'd like to go ahead and get that set up today. And what I'm thinking is this road is going to run... Of course, we have the oak and kapok one that runs down through here. And we're going to have the walnut one run up north. And I've still got to figure out which tree I'm going to pair with that. But what I'm thinking is we will probably have it run out like this far from the edge of the smith. The tree farm wouldn't start until after the smith, at least on this side of the road. I might actually bring it out, because if we did it here, yeah, this will actually work out. And we'll just kind of plug it up right here. I've got a bunch of chickens wandering, as you can tell. I'm going to go ahead and pour this. Basically just to make sure that we've got plenty of glass to make plenty of panes as we move forward. Though I know the smith, we're using the lake eyes for the windows. If we had the road run basically like that, I'll get a better idea once we get the stone paths in, but I'm thinking this should be pretty good for us. I think I've got some andesite over here. I do. I'm going to go ahead and use that instead of the ones that I've already got sorted. And during the winter, I want to make a bunch of brass lanterns, but we'll get to that. Just because I want to light up the roadways. But for now, I just want to get the roadways ran. And I was thinking, since I've only made the one, I might end up changing over and doing them as glass instead of quartz, I think. Because the clear lanterns would make a little bit more sense on our roadways and save all of our clear quartz and the dirtier lanterns for like these areas around in here. I think that would be for the best. Alright, this is starting to change over. So yeah, I'll probably go ahead and do another batch of lead directly after this one. Go ahead and get all of these changed over while I'm starting the roadway, because it's kind of perfect timing. Now, of course, we may have places on this road where we end up removing a little bit of the trees just so we can kind of have it cross over to other things, and whenever that stuff comes up, you know, we'll just make adjustments as needed. And we're going to be using kind of the same chisel pattern as the other side, the same road lamps. It's going to be pretty much identical to the other road, except the trees on the side are going to be different, you know. Now, if we had this head straight up north, we might come up to here and then curve it off and go wherever we're planning on going, probably around this, and kind of work with that water and do like that, and then just carry on. Because there is a lot of stuff up here that we will want. Okay, now our lead is done. I'm going to go ahead and get the last few nuggets that we've got on hand smelting up. We do still have a bit more ore, bountiful and rich ore, so we'll be good on lead, but this is going to give us plenty of lead for a while. And I know right now it seems like the roads are kind of on the back side of the village, but long term they'll be more center of the village, because this is meant to be more like a village center where that tree is at. But I figured this year I wanted to focus more on finishing out a lot of the buildings and just kind of organizing things down here, more so than building brand new buildings, because, you know, we've got a lot of buildings that need a bit of work. I think the warehouse is looking better. I've still got a lot of chisel work to do on it, and I've got to finish up the basement and stuff, but I want to get this up and going, you know, here pretty quick. We're actually going to have this we got a few trees here. I might, yeah, I'll probably end up peeling these back, because I'm going to want, the tree farm would have started by now, so yeah, actually all this. Oh, did I ever see this? I did not. Well. Oh, and actually all of our glass is done. Let me go put this stuff away real quick. It's still nice and warm. There we go. We got 48 glass at this point. And we'll go ahead and pour out our last couple ingots, which are way hot at the moment, because I have to warm them back up, so. Alright, now, if we take a look at panes, the question is, what kind of pane do we want? Aged would honestly be nice. Yeah, let's go with aged, in fact. So let's take these, cut these down a little bit. And then that. And that. I'm going to go ahead and make all of these for now. And that's going to at least get us a start on the windows. And then instead of going through and counting them first, I'm just going to do that. But if we put these in, yeah, we're going to stick with that. I do like it. I don't know. I might actually look at a mod for doors. See about just adding more doors. Because I would like some new ones. Okay, so we're going to go around and basically add in windows, except for these, of course. These, we're not going to change these out, but I'll be a little bit short on windows. Yeah, because there's a couple here. There's 6, and then there's some downstairs. 10, 12. 12 windows, 12 more windows. That's what I need. But look at that. Just like adding some new windows to this, it makes it look so much better. And this does mean that we'll have plenty of lead and glass made up to do windows, like with the reed farm and stuff. So I wanted to make sure that we had plenty. Yeah, look at that. And we actually have light inside of it now. It's wonderful. Okay, so that's done. And now I can turn my attention back over. Oh, it looked like these were spoiling for a second. I was like, really? I just like made these. And I made chicken pie too. I'm thinking I need to do it again. I got a lot of chickens around here. So anyways, I'm going to continue running this road. Honestly, I'm probably going to at least run the paths up to the water. And then we'll come back through and we'll add the tree farm, get the walnut put in and stuff. I've got a little bit of inventory space at the moment, so. But I'll be back once I get this road ran back. You guys know the drill by now. It's going to be, as far as this part, it's going to be identical to the road that we ran last time. But like I said, the trees are going to be different, so. But I'll be back here in a bit. Okay, I've got that ran back, and I have a few stacks of our peridot cobble, peridot cobble, andesite gravel, and slate cobblestone. And now I've ran this back a ways. But I did stop just shortly of the water, because I got to figure out what I want to do here, because I have this big oak tree I'd honestly like to keep, this really big oak tree, which I definitely want to keep, and this really big walnut tree that I want to keep. So I'm going to figure out how I want to work those in to the tree farm. And these are just so perfect. I kind of want something kind of in between them. So I'm going to wait and just bring the tree farm back so far, and then kind of figure out what I want to do here. Because I kind of want it to come up, curve around, and then maybe the tree farm keep going, you know, off in this direction. And we come up through here, maybe. Or maybe we might even split. It just depends. So, but there's a lot of really big oaks here, as you can see. So I've got to try to work these in, because I really want to keep them. Because you generally don't have a lot of these, and I've got a lot of them back in here, so. Oh, wow. There's resin here. So that gives us a 4th tree to harvest off of regularly. That's like right around our base. And mind you, this was all generated before the 40% increase, because that update just came out. It would be 2 days ago now, which I've already upgraded, but or updated. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. I will take it. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to be pairing up walnut with birch, I think. And we'll plan on starting the tree farm, say right in here. This is going to get turned over to one of these blocks. This will be flowers. This will be where we actually start the trees. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's see. Let's go ahead and remove this. I'll pick it up here in a minute. But we'll have a tree there, and we're going to do the same spacing as on the other side. It's about 3 to 4 blocks for like birch and walnut. But I'm going to go ahead and give it the 5 so that we've got plenty of space. And I've got to figure out what flowers I want to set up for this. But if we had a light there, tree, light, tree, and so on. And we're going to go ahead and start off with the walnut, because this is the one that's most important that I get planted, because I don't have any walnut at the moment. So we would go here, here, here. Okay, and I've got it ran all the way down to here, which of course I've got to change a lot of that over to dirt at this point. And I actually ran out of black currant bushes. I'm actually getting to put these in somewhere, which is great. But I think I'll push the road just a little bit, just so we can fit the trees in nicely and have it come down where the lamp is instead. So that'll work out better for us. And I'll run the rest of these walnut seeds. I mean, we're pretty decent on walnut seeds. And walnuts, it's not a tree that's generally hard to get seeds for. The only reason I don't have a lot is because most of the walnuts that we cut down was early. And, of course, we didn't have shears at the time. But now we got shears, so... Also, our fruit has been steadily coming in. I've been grabbing it. These pink apples, they keep for like a year. So I'm just kind of going to save them for winter. And then we can make fruit pies during the winter, apple pies. So, okay, now at this point, what I need to do, I guess we'll go over here. Because this big stain on the earth that I've created still hasn't healed from the last road that we did. So let's do it here. And I'm actually going to be going ahead and doing 2 stacks at once, so that way we can run it out. And then we're just going to turn all these into chiseled blocks, just like we did the last time around. And I got to do the same thing for both the andesite gravel and the slate cobblestone. Okay, I did get all of these converted, and we're going to go ahead, let's see, it'll be the slate cobble that we want to keep. There we go. And then this batch of slate cobble. Now we should be all set. Let me go ahead. I'm going to start here and just start busting up all of this dirt. Yeah, so that was almost a stack just to run it down to there. And then we'll do this side. And then I'll go ahead and lay out some for the bottom down there as well. And we take a look and we have all of our materials. 1 year, I don't know if it'll be next year, but we're going to have, like, we're basically going to dedicate a good, like, maybe 3 months or something, uninterrupted, hopefully, just working on roads. So, there we go. We got that ran. And then, yeah, now I got to figure out which kind of flowers that I want to run through here. And I've got to start chiseling this. I don't know if I'll start that immediately because it is currently the 2nd of August and I want to finish up what I want to do with the warehouse. And then we still need to build animal pens and do the reed farm. Okay, I think I figured out something that I like. Because I kind of want to do something a little bit different than the other side. And I think we're going to be going with catmint and woad for this. Kind of mixing these two. Down through here, they'll be a little bit taller than the dwarf fuzz. At least I liked it in my test world. We'll take a look and we'll see. Like that. No, I don't like it, in fact. I especially like catmint. Woad, kind of. But I think we're going to stick with the heather and dwarf fuzz. The reason being, other flowers, they're so tall. Not all of them, but dwarf fuzz and heather, I think, just work perfect, in fact. And the reason being, they're not too tall, but they're also not too short. Stuff like Lily of the Valley, you know, it's too short, I think. And I think the catmint and stuff was just too tall. We've got 64 dwarf fuzz exactly left, because I think we just ran out. Yeah, because I think I harvested like 2 stacks before. So yeah, I think we'll just go with the same over here. I think it just looks so good, and that way we can see the berry bushes behind it, and I think it just works out better for us. I was thinking, well, I might do something a little bit different, but I just don't think I can. We've got to chisel this, you know, just as we have time, we'll do that. And we have to make the lights and put those in, and then chisel the bases for those as we have time. But as for the actual farm, that's in place. And we just have to kind of expand it out. I'll actually probably go ahead and get some dirt, and that way I can at least plant the rest of the walnut on down, and go ahead and take the birch on down too, I think. I can't remember, was this walnut that we did the base out of? It was. Everything's walnut, I swear. It's like one of my favorite wood types. And I do kind of want to get our larch planted. At least go ahead and start growing it, you know, so that we can maybe get some more seeds. Let me go ahead and grab that. We'll just put it in the town for now. And let me go ahead and get maybe the rest of our blackberries or black currants. And for now, we're going to go ahead and replace all of our black currants with a few larches, I think. That's not like best distance. I'm just planning them out a little bit, by the way. They don't need quite that much space, but and then I'm going to go ahead and I guess try to get at least the rest of these walnuts planted, because I do need the wood, like, in a lot of places. And actually, we've got enough walnut seeds to bring us all the way down here right up to the oaks. I need a lot more black currant bushes, and I need to start using cranberry and stuff somewhere, because I've got a bunch of those piled up. But okay, so at this point, we've actually finished one of our signs now, which is get the walnut tree farm in place, because we've got it in place. It's going to take a little bit for these to grow, of course, but hopefully the growth time for those in this area will be pretty good. I imagine it will be, because, you know, they're growing up here pretty naturally. And I'm going to get back over to the warehouse at this point, I think. Okay, it's been a little bit. It's August 5th at the moment. I wanted to show you these two red apple trees. They died. So we're just going to hack those up. I've been getting a ton of pink apples, though, so we'll try again next year, you know. I did get the top put on the well, and got water in there. I might end up moving it, but honestly, I think I kind of like it now that I've put some crates out here and decorated just a little bit. I do think I like it a bit. If we come around, the pear tree, one of these did survive, and the other one died. So we're going to hack that one down. So we got 1 out of 4 this time, which the chance is now higher. You know, it's 40%. If we come over here, I will show you our brand new generation of chicks. We now have generation 5 chicks. So the mommy and daddy will be going, well, the mommy will be going, maybe the daddy will say. But let's go ahead, pop over to where I've been doing a bit of work, and I'll show you a little bit closer the whale. I ended up doing a little bit of supports up there. And I brought out some smooth chert just so we had the lantern here. We could get rid of the lantern there. And I did run some supports and brought this out. Not really supports, but like just some beams around the edge here. I killed our chickens. And this has become our firewood kind of storage in here. I did do a little bit of chiseling on the road. I brought that out. We're going to head inside the warehouse in just a moment. But I did do a little bit of chiseling here. Started bringing all this out. Got to start on it anyways. And then if we head in at this point into our warehouse, this is so much better than it was. I mean, it's still not, when I say finished warehouse, this is about where we're going to get to the warehouse this year. And this is pretty good for what I was hoping. I don't mean like 100% finished, because I've still got some chisel projects. You know, we're going to use some of this vertical space in this room and stuff. But everything's sorted. Everything looks a lot nicer. There's lighting in here. The windows are sorted out finally. And just everything is just a lot better. Plus we got a bit of the exterior work done and different things. So, but if we head down into the basement, you can see we finally have a railing on our staircase. At long last. This room does still need some work, but I'll get to it. It's not a big rush. Right now, all that's in here is my rot chest. So, but you can see I brought up this. And actually, if you're on the Discord, you would have seen, would have been a couple weeks ago by the time this video comes out, but you would have seen I actually had this pulled up at the time because it was a lot easier to work without that pillar. But brought all of this out. And I think that's the main things that I did. I was just coming down here to dump the pink apples in there. You can see I'm getting a bunch because, you know, these trees, you know, they put on consistently. Like every day or two, they're going to put on more fruit. Which doesn't really matter when they're not at your house. But when they're at your house, it's easy to, or at your base, you know, wherever, it's easy to harvest them, like, as soon as they come in, like, consistently. So I'm stockpiling apples. And, you know, they keep for a while. So we're going to have apples all winter basically all the way around till they come back in again. So we will have apples for making lots of apple pies. So, all right, at this point, that's sorted as much as I really want to get it done, because it's August 5th. I want to move on because we still have a few projects we need to get to. I think I'm going to start kind of working on the reed farm. And I'll probably have to go out. I still want to get about 1.5 stacks more cattails. But I'm going to start just kind of working in here just a little bit. Try to get it decorated a bit and things kind of organized and whatnot. So I'll be back in a bit. Okay, I just want to pop you guys in for just a second. Just to show you. I don't know, like, this night is just absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's not the first time the sky's been like this, but it's like really, really windy. And I don't know, the town's actually starting to get lit up. I did go and I made some more lanterns. And did a bit of work on the inside there. We're going to pop in there here in just a moment. I'm working on some other stuff, but I just want to pop you guys in, and I don't know, it's just so pretty. Like, absolutely beautiful starlit night at the moment. Currently on the very last day of August as well. But anyways, I'll be back in a bit. And I wanted to show you that our baby chicks, they grew up. So we have our Generation 5s. We got 1 pullet and we got 2 cockerels, which is actually like fairly rare. So I just kind of wanted to show you that. I thought that was kind of interesting because it's only like a 10% chance that you get a rooster, but to get 2 is not quite as common. Honestly, I think this is probably where we're going to get to for now. For one, I know that the episode's getting close to wrapping up, and then also it's September 1st. There is a few other things I would like to do. Before we get on to winter, I want to get crates of blue clay and fire clay. I'd like to, of course, we want to get the ram pen and the pig pen built. I would like to do a bit of chiseling to figure out exactly how we're going to have these lanterns set up around the town, because right now got copper lanterns thrown on the ground, which is not really ideal. So I want to figure out exactly how our lighting is going to go. And we've actually made a lot of progress on this building. I still need to chisel the outside and do some stuff like that, but I ran a little fence around the front just to kind of like shape up the front to some degree. I still want to add a little bit of stuff, but we have a little like fire pit here. Originally I was really wanting a fire pit inside, but it was really awkward to run it with the shape of this building without making the second floor feel extremely cramped. But we got this fire pit outside for now. It'll do. And then I ran our little clothesline. Clothes, they aren't really my forte, but I did my best. So there's like little bits of chisel just to kind of give them some kind of shape, and kind of like the wind is blowing into them, and just kind of chiseled those out. Like I said, clothes and stuff like that, not really my forte. I've never really been an artistic sort of person. So this is just my little attempt for a little clothes area. Because, you know, it was brought up in the comments whenever we were first working on this building about drying clothes, you know, getting wet out in the reeds. And so I was like, well, I'm going to put a little clothesline out here. So I did my best. It's not that great, but it's something. At least I tried, I guess. Now, if we head inside, I was able to clear out some chests. Well, make some space in some chests for our decorative stuff, because this is what I've been saving all these like reed baskets and hand baskets for, is just kind of decorating out in here. Now, right now, I'm actually running low on reeds. I literally have like 112. I took everything from the bee area, most everything from the warehouse. I think there might be some left in there. And then I also took, well, I harvested up all these. Whoops. Well, most of these. I did go out and I got us like, I don't know, a couple stacks more of cattail. So you can see I've expanded that out a bit. We have a fair amount of cattails. Whenever all these come in, we should be able to get about 5 or 6 stacks per harvest. So that's pretty good. I really need to get, because I've ran short on cattails, and that's because I've kind of slid on harvesting my cattails, and I need to stay on top of that. Usually I'll harvest them, but it's like on occasion. It's not like consecutively, making sure that they stay harvested down. So, but anyways, just kind of decorate out this inside a bit. so that it's like somewhat livable. This would honestly, I would think, probably be more of like a seasonal building anyway, so it's really not that important, I don't think, that we have a fire pit inside. And that's another thing I was thinking about. This would probably be a seasonal building, right? We wouldn't really be harvesting reeds in the winter time. I have done it on here, but theoretically, generally, we wouldn't be harvesting reeds in the winter time anyway. So this would be more of like a spring, summer, and probably early fall sort of building anyway. So it's not that important that we have a fire pit on the inside, I don't think. Now, if we head upstairs, we have a bit more clutter. A lot of cheap clutter. I took some bowls and stuff from the smith and just kind of threw them in here. I took our flower pots finally. I also made up another batch of planters, another batch of storage vessels, and stuff like that as I was working on this. But put my aged bed over here, so kind of like this little like nook to sleep in. Make some kind of use out of that. Plus, it kind of feels like a room to me. So, still got a lot of work to do, realistically, because I haven't even started really chiseling on the inside whatsoever, or really the outside of the building. I picked up the chisel, and I went to town on the clothesline, and it took me a few days, and then it was like, well, my year is kind of running out at the moment, so I was like, well, I think I need to turn my attention elsewhere. I do feel like we got a lot of work done. It's decorated. You know, before it was just a complete barren building. Nothing on the outside, nothing on the inside. So I do think we did make a bit of progress on it. I also did run some posts on the bottom, right down here, and they go all the way up. So that way it feels kind of supported. I need to go down in here and basically do the bottom of this so that it feels like it's a bit more supported there as well. So I will get to that pretty soon, but realistically I think I should have time. I just don't like cutting it close. Plus I have to take quite a few loads up to the mountain and do a bit of preparation-y type stuff for winter. Right now I'm just leaving these fields fallow whenever I'm not using them. Technically with Terra Preta you never really have to have a fallow stage. That's what I like about Terra Preta is we can basically keep flipping and always have our fields filled. But right now I'm leaving these fallow because I actually just don't need it. Unless it's flax, I just do not need it for this winter. We have a literal ton of apples. As you can see, I've got that field. I've got that filled out. This actually needs to get tossed, and I'll go ahead and toss that too. But we've got a bunch of apples, and then I've got another stack here. I'm going to go ahead and move it over to there. But before we end up the episode, we do have to kind of do our ritual of sorts. We're going to go up, we're going to take down a sign. Now, at the moment, I'm not going to take down the sign for the reed farm. Technically, it's not finished. Technically, it's not even where I was hoping to get it to, because I was wanting to get the exterior kind of chiseled a bit and get the bottom put in. So I am going to try to fit that in this year. I don't know for sure that we'll get it completely done, but regardless, I feel like we've made progress, and we could also take down the walnut tree farm. So we're really down to just these 3 tasks. Next episode, I'm hoping to do this one. Ideally, I would like to do this one. We've done the expand reeds. I just kind of want to do a little bit more with the reed farm before we call it finished. And finished is kind of, like I said, kind of a loose term. Warehouse, I still want to use that vertical space. I've got a little bit of interior chiseling. You know, the cellar needs some work, but we'll get to all that. That's all small stuff that we just kind of do progressively, but I just kind of want to get it to a good spot, you know. Anyways, I know it's wrapping up point for this episode, so we're going to end this one out here, and then next episode when we come back, we are going to be building animal pens and hopefully finishing off some work on this, getting our helve hammers in, and there's a pretty good chance we might start getting ready to move up to the mountain for the winter. I would really like to get into the mountain a little bit earlier this year, because I would like to spend maybe 5 months up there if we can swing that, but we'll see how things go. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out, and I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.